So parameters here are operational and maintenance, capital investment, depreciation, contingency, interest on loan, interest on working capital, interest on return of equity, income tax, non-tariff income, and income from other businesses. This is also considered in ARR, annual aggregate revenue requirement. आता हे aggregate revenue requirement नुसतं इथे पॅरामीटर दिलं आहे तुम्हाला. तर ते aggregate annual revenue requirement म्हटलं नाही ते. This parameter is very important. Annual revenue requirement to aggregate revenue requirement. See how many parameters you have to consider. On. Then availability based ABT. Availability based ABT. In power system, the network, the system frequency is continuously changing. It is variable and its control needs to be continuous balance between the system demand and generation. If demand is less than the generation, the frequency rises. If demand is more than the generation, frequency goes down. So the control of frequency can be managed by either changing the demand or by making the introducing the availability based area. So this particularly CRC for suggesting the improvement in the bulk power tariff in India, the options for various utilities like state electricity boards, DVCs, NTPCs, NHPCs, etc. were taken and then arrived at certain conclusion that it is suited with best under in particularly in Indian condition. It may be defined as a market mechanism for centralization, scheduling and dispatch of the central sector generation and state sector withdrawals. So, and decentralize the scheduling for state sector generation. It may be defined as a merit order operation of the units to attain the higher level of the economy in terms of productions of electricity. The company with this centralized merit order dispatch of all centralized generating units should be controlled centrally by regional load dispatch center. So, with state sector generating units, and that will be operated on merit order independently by each state sector dispatch, that is RLDC, regional load dispatch center, will dispatch only the draws of state level beneficiaries of central sector power station. Okay, so this is availability based tariff, especially power on demand. That is the concept. When there is a demand and based on the particular parameter, that what we call it as a frequency. So when demand is more, generation is less, frequency goes down. When demand is less, generation is high, frequency goes up. So based on that, this RLDC, SLDC operates. So you may have either to give order to the big loads, big consumers to either to shut down or either to remain connected. That is order given by SLDC or RLDC to the certain consumer. Based on this, particularly the electricity market, we are having all this data available at every 15 minutes of time interval. So if it is needed that certain amount of load, say 100 megawatt, it is to be curtailed. That what we call it as a load shedding. It means it is to be curtailed. So when demand is high, frequency goes down. Frequency goes down. It goes down below 49 hertz. So below that, it is very difficult to maintain the system. So normally RLDC gives order to curtail the load. Curtailment of load is done when frequency is maintained. If some generation is available more than that of demand, RLDC will give orders to switch on some bulk loads so that frequency will be maintained. So this is what it is. It has been done in ABT. So the charges are decided for this particular means availability based rate. Charges for this energy selling. So in Indian power system, we have this we are also having the load shedding. The load shedding is especially for those consumers who are paying less, and normally the load shedding is not there for those consumers who are paying high. That is also the parameter behind ABT, availability based tariff. Okay. So Indian power system is characterized with low frequency system due to continuous power deficit. Deficit means kamtarta at most of the time. There is always supply and demand mismatch. So the power demand is always more than that of power supply. Due to this, the frequency of grid remains at lower side. In very rare cases, it is more than 50, but it is always less than that of 50. If it is 50, then it is ideal condition. Okay, the availability based tariff, that generating stations used to deliver same amount of megawatt in spite of need of the lower megawatt demand. Okay, this causes the grid frequency to be higher side. So similarly, during the period of higher power demand, generating stations used to supply same megawatt, that higher capacity. So subsequently, the grid frequency reduces. The type of grid operation did not have any provision to maintain the discipline. So this grid maintenance, it is already done by RLDC, SLDC, and under the guidance of Central Electricity Authority, which is CEA. So availability based tariff is a frequency based pricing scheme that adopted in Indian power sector to maintain the grid discipline. So to maintain the grid discipline means you should not either go for changing the frequency plus 5% on higher side or minus 5% on lower side. So that is grid discipline is maintained. Okay. So unscheduled power interchange, unexpected power interchange, that is also considered in ABT. If unexpected power exchange is there by any consumer, he may have to pay very high cost of that. That is also the provision made in ABT. So the scheme was introduced especially in 2002 in Indian power sector. It is imperative here to understand that need of ABT for better understanding of the concept. That is what especially during the critical time, the availability based tariff ABT is used for selling the power or purchasing the power. So that is the important parameter as far as ABT is concerned of power or electricity tariff. So structure of ABT, especially the capacity of fixed charges, energy charges, scheduled interchange charges, unscheduled interchange charges, UI charges. So those are considered. Okay. Hello. Any doubt? So this is structure of ABT. Charge capacity, energy charge, unscheduled interchange, ABT. That is availability based tariff. Any doubt? Answer to each other. फ्रिक्वेन्सी मेंटेन नाही केली तर ग्रीड कोलॅप्स होईल. म्हणजे कोलॅप्स होईल म्हणजे इलेक्ट्रिकली कोलॅप्स होईल, नाही का. मेकॅनिकली कोलॅप्स म्हणजे टावर खाली पडणार नाही का, सिस्टीम बंद पडेल. 49 पेक्षा खाली जर फ्रिक्वेन्सी आली तर डिमांड विल बी व्हेरी मोर दॅन दॅट ऑफ युअर अवेलेबल एनर्जी. सो यू हॅव टू ऑलवेज मॅच डिमांड. म्हणून तर आपण लोड शेडिंग करतो. लोड शेडिंग करतो म्हणजे काय करतो, नॉर्मली वी यूज टू कर्टल दॅट लोड. कर्टल म्हणजे कट करणे, कमी करणे. तो लोड आपण कमी करतो की ज्याच्याकडनं आपल्याला फारसा रेव्हेन्यू भेटत नाही. म्हणजे ग्रामीण कंझ्युमर असतील, ॲग्रिकल्चरल कंझ्युमर असेल. म्हणजे आता बरेच जण म्हणतात सर आमच्याकडे लाईट नाही. तुमच्याकडे एक गोष्ट लक्षात आली असेल की जसं जसं कंझ्युमरची लेवल किंवा कॅटेगरी वाढत जाते, म्हणजे हायर अँड हायर रेटेड कंझ्युमर्स, तसं तसं त्यांच्याकडे पॉवर कर्टलमेंटचं प्रमाण कमी आहे. ओके. इंडस्ट्रियल कन्झ्युमरला शक्यतो आपण फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी देतो, मग कमर्शियलला, मग अर्बन एरियाला, रेल्वेला आपण टॉप प्रायोरिटी देतो. म्हणजे दॅट इज व्हॉट EBT. म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये आपण प्रायोरिटी ठरवल्यानंतर मग समजा आता काय आहे की तुम्हाला आम्ही सपोज देर इज अ पीक पर्टिक्युलर डिमांड, त्या केसमध्ये की आम्ही तुम्हाला तिथे सप्लाय देणार आहे, त्यावेळेला सप्लाय अवेलेबल होणार आहे. सो दॅट अवेलेबिलिटी इन कंजेशन स्टेट किंवा क्रिटिकल स्टेट, दॅट टेरिफ स्ट्रक्चर इट इज डिझाईन. म्हणजे आता इथे दिलेलं आहे अनशेड्यूल इंटरचेंज चार्जेस. म्हणजे काय, कोणताही अनशेड्यूल इंटरचेंज झाला म्हणजे समजा मी कमिटमेंट केले की 100 मेगावॅट तुम्हाला दिले जातील, पण 100 मेगावॅट देताना माझ्याकडे अनशेड्युलिंग म्हणजे ते एक जनरेटर आउट झालेला आहे, मला कुठून तरी मॅनेज करून EBT तुम्हाला एनर्जी प्रोव्हाइड करायची. तर अनशेड्यूल इंटरचेंज हा पॅरामीटर कन्सिडर केला की माझ्या कॉस्टमध्ये फरक पडणार आहे. एनर्जी चार्जेस तर डेफिनेटली तिथे आहेच, त्याचा काही प्रश्नच नाही. आणि कपॅसिटी चार्जेस दॅट इज ऑल्सो देअर, की किती कपॅसिटी मला वापरावी लागेल बेस्ड ऑन दॅट. सर हे जे दोन अनशेड्यूल चार्जेस, कपॅसिटी चार्जेस, हे दोन याच्यात ऍड केले एनर्जी चार्जेस, तर मग जो तयार होणारा टेरिफचा प्रकार आहे दॅट इज EBT. म्हणजे जेव्हा तुम्हाला अवेलेबल, समजा तुम्हाला रात्री समजा पीक आवर्स संध्याकाळी 8 ते 10 आहे, 8 ते 10 तुम्हाला पॉवर अवेलेबल पाहिजे, ठीक आहे, भेटेल. इट विल बी ॲट द कॉस्ट ऑफ 10 रुपीज पर युनिट. आणि तुम्हाला 30 रात्री 10 नंतर किंवा 12 नंतर पाहिजे, द कॉस्ट ऑफ पॉवर विल बी 4 रुपीज पर युनिट. So that is EBT. Okay. So unscheduled interchange charges, these parameters I think I have discussed. If you have any doubt you can ask me. Unscheduled म्हणजे uncertain, नाही का. आता एक एक्झाम्पल दिलं UI चं. Somebody will read out. Who will read out? Unscheduled interchange. बाकीचं तर मी तुम्हाला व्हेरिएबल चार्जेस मी सांगितलेलं आहे, तुम्हाला फिक्स कॉस्ट पण सांगितलेलं आहे. 3 नंबर दिसतंय का सगळ्यांना? जरा वाचून दाखवा मला. वाचा.
Unscheduled interchange charge UI charge. Unscheduled interchange means deviation from the schedule. On a day it is supplying 700 megawatt. Even then the station will be paid energy charges for scheduled operation either for 600 megawatt. For surplus 100 megawatt, the rate of energy charge will depend on the prevailing grid frequency at the time. This energy charge for surplus supply either 100 megawatt for our example is called unscheduled interchange charge, UI charge. The UI charge is linked with the grid frequency. If the grid frequency is higher, either more than 50.2 Hz, the rate of UI charge is 0. This means generating station will not be paid for excess generation of 100 megawatt when grid frequency is more than 50.2 Hz. Thus, the station is forced to reduce generation to maintain grid frequency.
Okay, what you have understood? तुम्ही काय समजलं त्याच्यामध्ये? आता हे हायर फ्रिक्वेन्सी साइडला म्हटलेलं आहे. ओके, दिस इज फॉर हायर फ्रिक्वेन्सी. आता जस्ट समबडी आस्क मी द क्वेश्चन, जर फ्रिक्वेन्सी कमी झाली तर काय होईल? ओके, जस्ट 1 minute.